I decided to do a retry of my witch character painting. I wasn't very happy with the result of the previous one, so I would like to try again. This is one of my Sims characters. She's a witch. This time I drew her in a different pose, and I included her witch's hat. What she's holding looks like a bouquet of flowers, but it's meant to be her flying broom. That's the bottom part. I added flowers on it for decoration. I'm painting this one with gouache as well. I'm just trying my best to use the paints. This time I would paint the background dark. I just put a bit of color there so I won't forget. And I started with her face by painting the shadows. First I tried to start lightly, but I wanted to make sure that this time I could cover the surface with the gouache, so I tried to darken the colors. I didn't want to just use them as a wash this time. And once I was happy with the skin color, I moved on to defining the features of the face before I cover them completely with paint. I used a darker brown for that and a smaller brush. I still have paint to add, and I still have to work on the rendering, but if I work on the detailing as I go along, then I won't lose the features of her face. At least that was my plan. Then I colored in her pastel purple hair, starting by adding some color tones. I try to avoid doing too many details at first, since first I want to get the overall color and the shape established. This time I changed her outfit color too. In the last illustration she had a green apron, like an emerald color green. But I think if I draw her with warmer colors she may look nicer. So I tried that this time. I made her hat a warm yellow, like a dark mustard color. A yellow ochre with a bit of orange. I was also planning on doing some floral texture on the hat. You could see I did some scribbles with the pencil to represent it. It got covered with paint though. I just need to remember to add them later once I have painted the main color and shadows of the hat. She also has a decoration on her hat, a band that will be darker than the hat color, just to add some contrast. And I have also added some flower decorations on the hat as well. I want the flowers in her hat to match those of her broomstick. I made her dress a dark burgundy color. I think it's a very elegant color and it goes well with her skin tone and her yellow ochre hat. But I am keeping her shirt white and her apron too. She has a little apron at the front of her dress. And I'm not keeping it white as the white of the paper, I'm probably adding some cream colors there, just so it matches the rest of the colors in the piece. Her broomstick has a paper decoration held by a burgundy ribbon. It's a bit hard to tell at this stage, but that's what that is supposed to be. The wood will be darker in the end, though. Overall, I think that the gouache looks better on this painting than on the previous one. It's like the darker colors seem to work better on this gouache. The hardest part of painting her dreadlocks is that there's a lot of small shapes, and I would like to define them as individual dreads without making it look too overworked. Since I want the wind to be blowing, I want it to show in her hair, so I want some of the dreadlocks to be separated from the main mass of dreads, if that makes sense. I planned to make the flowers red and yellow. I felt it would match her outfit well. It's very autumn colored, even though I wasn't thinking of the season when I thought of the colors. I made the wood and the sticks of the broom darker. I feel like it brings out the color of the flowers since there's that contrast between the dark wood and the bright colors. It looks very messy at first. I wanted just to establish the colors and the position of the flowers. Later I go on and try to define it more. It's mostly filling the empty spaces between them with paint. And once I have all the base colors that I like, I can go in and work more on the rendering. I tried adding some more values to the dress. It was looking a bit flat, so I tried adding some light tones to it. And always trying to follow her body shape to make it look natural on her. And trying to work out where the folds of this kind of dress would be. Since all the shapes I wanted were finished, I decided I could move on to the background. The first background color I put was too similar to her dress, so I felt it would wash her out. I decided to mix a different color instead, just to make it more contrasty between the character and the background. I ended up with this dark reddish purple, which I think turned out well with the other colors. It matches the same color theme, but it's also different enough that it makes her stand out from the background. And the reason I wanted to render her as much as I could before getting to the background is that I also knew I wanted an outline between her and the background color. Since she's mostly finished, this way I know exactly where to avoid painting in the background color, and it makes it easier to leave her outline as the blank of the paper. And here is the finished illustration. I ended up doing some details with color pencils. Just a few outlines here and there. I think she came out much better than the last time I painted her, so I'm very happy with this one. She's very cute with her hat and her flying broomstick bouquet.